What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. My name is Nour and today we'll be talking about how I made $1,000 off of Boeing, right? So let's start with my entries. So as you can see, this is the next day, so you can't see my profits here, but this was yesterday. So I'll just show you the orders and you guys can do the math. So I had 50 contracts at $5.55 per contract, actually $5.45. And I sold this. Well, the orders weren't filling, so that'll be the story I'll talk to you guys about during the video. So you can see my orders come in, 565, 565. I sold all of it, and I finally got fully filled there. All right, cool. So yeah, you can see the orders that I sold. BA, I don't have anything into the weekend. See, 50 at 55, 56. So I don't have anything. This is Saturday. Let's get into why I got into BA, right? So let's get into BA. So one thing before I start this, I want to tell you guys that the orders on Thinkorswim were not filling for me, and they were not updating correctly. I thought it was just a contract thing where the contracts were just not performing the correct way. But later in the chat, I found out that a few students had a problem with, their orders updating. So I think it was a Thinkorswim problem, which is pretty crazy. And especially if you're in heavy, it does matter a lot. So contracts were not updating correctly. So I decided to get out early. I did not want to risk it. I made $1,000. I was green. So thankfully I got out without coming out negative. So let me start this video. Why did I get into Boeing and what allowed me to make money off of Boeing? So I created this simple pattern, this simple drawing of a simple pattern that you might know. It's called an ascending triangle, right? So you create a resistance of where the stock keeps failing to break, right? So it's a very simple pattern. Let me show you why, right? So stock makes a high of the day and tries to break it. So, it makes a high over here, comes back down, creates a bullish engulfment, comes back up and tries to break it. As you can see, it gets rejected at that resistance level at 372.81, right? Comes down again, tries it again, and gets rejected as well, right? You can see the wicks right here. Gets rejected, tries it again, and every time during a ascending triangle, bulls will enter quicker than before to allow the stock to push back up. It won't allow the stock to drop as far. So see how this stock dropped down here, came back up, but dropped down here, which is far higher than where this was, and then this is far higher than where this was. You get what I mean? So bulls stepping faster each time. So what this called is an ascending triangle. So now that I made my resistance where the stock keeps getting rejected, I understand that if it pushes above, this stock is going to break out, and if it falls below, then bulls gave up. They tried too many times. They cannot push the stock any higher. So as you can see, I created this ascending line, meaning an uptrend. So the stock is obviously on an uptrend. It just can't break the high. So it's making higher lows. So it doesn't come as far down each time. So it's on an uptrend, but it just can't break the high point. So what I did was I created the line. I saw the pattern visually, and I said, all right, let me draw this line. So I drew these lines. I probably got in around this area right here at the very end. I should have waited, obviously, but I got in a little early and then started adding to my position. I added, and this stock went from 372.30, and I probably sold around 371. Oh, when it started consolidating, 371.66. So it was a quick scalp. It took about a couple minutes, maybe let me see what time, 10:25, 10 minutes. I held the position for probably 10 minutes and then sold. Why did I sell? I told you guys I didn't want to find out what was going on, so I just sold for a quick profit. As this broke, it went from 370.32 all the way down to 370.60. So that's a $2 gap. That's a pretty big move there for Boeing. So I got into puts for this stock, made a quick $1,000, and the stock started to push. And this actually pushed higher than its previous high during the day. So that is how I made my $1,000. Obviously, the stock kept pushing further down throughout the day, but nobody's waiting that long. But that's a very easy pattern to know. It's called an ascending triangle, and that's how I made $1,000 on Boeing. I showed you the orders. And it was a pretty good play. You just need to visually see it. And I talked about this bullish engulfment right here when you get a big red candle and then a big green candle right here. So that's how I made my $1,000 on Boeing. You can use this pattern with basically every stock on the market. You just need to see it and you need to understand the volume. So I looked at it. I saw some volume here. Stock pushed and then it started breaking lower and lower and lower. By the way, during this day, the stock market in general on Friday didn't have enough volume. So if you look at the volume here, it's like 8 to 10,000. And it started catching some volume, 13,000, 16,000, 13,000. And just started pushing. This candle had 11. This candle had 13. Not as crazy as if it had very high volume, but it had a decent amount of volume, especially on a low volume day. And this was a very low volume time of the day too, because things were just pushing straight up. So that's how I made my $1,000 on BA. My name is Nour Trades. You can check out my Instagram, Nour Trades, or you can check out the description for more info. Make sure you hit that like button. I'll see you guys. Peace.